The brown rice.
That's
I
the
wish they
19,
offered, yeah, maybe. I wish they offered cauliflower. But that would be a good.
Yeah, I can't do that either. No, I can't.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good afternoon, everyone. Larry, Marla, Angelica, can someone tell me you hear me? You hear me?
Yes,
Marla, thank you, Marla.
you're welcome.
You, Marla.
Hi, Marla.
Hey. I'm seeing my face. That's why I'm not showing it.
Uh-huh.
Jessica's getting us set up real quick. And also, we do have a handout for the class today, so if you're in Zoom land,
We do.
I do have one, yes.
Cool.
This is an action, a take action class, and by the end of the class, I hope that everybody does have a GPS, at least started or scribbled on. So I'll email out my little worksheet as well for everyone.
And there's even back there. A whole one. A whole one.
You got Mac?
Oh, just I didn't.
I have a Mac there.
Today.
Max.
I
I
didn't
don't have a lot.
Oh,
Like,
and then Mary Ann.
you know how to do that? I didn't update and then started doing that and then I was like.
Thank you. You're welcome. Y'all have a good class. Thank you.
No, it's fine. Thanks for coming. I was just maybe Mike and I first.
Oh, no.
It did feel that way for a
I
minute.
didn't know you were gonna be here. I was like, okay, she's not here. Where is she? I'll go run back. So.
Well, it's a couple of things that
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much the teacher to want to keep around.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you just knew off.
They were wrong, yeah.
Yep.
Should I have this out or my?
No, Pat. You don't really need your computer today. Unless you have some spreadsheets that you like to use in order to calculate which goals you're gonna use for next year. Other than that, it's gonna be a lot of. Hopefully we'll get through the presentation pretty quickly, so that you can get to the goal setting, actually writing out your GPS. So, I'm Carrie Foster, for anybody that doesn't already know, everybody does. I have been a realtor for 10 years, always with Keller Williams. Might have jumped around a little bit with the office, and that's how I got to land here and find people when I came to Porter. So I average about 10 million a year in sales, depending on what's going on that year. So over the last 10 years, of course, with good coaching, productivity coaching at the beginning and going on to other coaching programs. Each year I put together the GPS, and I think it is the most valuable tool you can have right now. So we're in the fourth quarter of this year, so we need to look back on what we've done well and what we need to improve on, and then write those goals down for next year. Now, I call it 135. This is the one thing came out, I think it's been renamed to the GPS, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because the GPS, just like in your car, is the navigation tool to get to your destination. So the GPS for us is the same tool. It's our navigation tool to get us to our goal for 2023 or each year. Okay, so let's get started. Before we get to our goal, we already know why we're getting there. So the big why is super interesting. Do you know, does anybody know what your big why is? Or have you gone through that exercise to find out what your big why is?
I need to narrow mine down a lot further
Yeah,
to my actual big why.
what's the general one? Like, what's your travel?
I want to make it a money, so I can travel whenever I want and not worry about how much it's gonna cost me and where I'm gonna stay. I want to be able to do what and then they can take my.
So, I mean,
Like once you.
yeah, I'm saying, I travel once with my husband once a year, and then all other times with my daughter, but we travel at least one time alone without our children.
It's a lot more fun taking your dog.
I'm sure, I don't know if it's like this. So the big why is important. My big why, so let me say this, your big why can change. My big why 10 years ago is not my big why now. 10 years ago, I was in corporate America and I was wanting to create this amazing space for me. And everybody was like, we're not ready. We're not ready for you yet. We're not there yet. And I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock and I was like, I'm done. I need to take control. Now it's a child, right? Once you have a child, your whole world changes. Your perspective changes. And so now she is my one thing. And I want to make sure now my big why, because she's written down my big why to build life big enough where I can say yes to her more than I'm saying. Because when I was younger, you know, I was living in a home with a single mom and she couldn't say yes a lot. And it wasn't her fault. But I want to build life big enough for her to have more and for me to be able to say yes more. So I think it's really important to know your big why and to know what your mission is. You know, most all high achievers always know their big why and what powers them in order to get up every day. Average is not okay. So I don't think anyone starts out saying, I want to live this really average life. I want to marry an average person. I want to have average kids. I want to be able just to get by. I don't think our life is designed that way. So we need to level up. So we need to find out for our business what our vision and our mission statement is. So for the vision statement, this is an exercise I want you to do later. Please take notes, please write your ideas down and then cultivate them into a really dynamic statement. So for our vision, this is going to tell our client what your goals are for them. So to develop a vision statement, you're going to ask yourself a couple questions. As the company grows for years, what impact do you expect the organization to have within the industry? How do you hope to engage with your clients? What qualities do you hope to reflect within your company's culture? How would you benefit your clients? What would success look like for you? So I gave a couple examples. One of them down here. This is my statement for the Foster Home Team. We are fostering your real estate dreams with unparalleled level of service and expertise. So that is what I wish for them and my industry. If I change this down here and I change it to fostering my co-op agent dreams with an unparalleled level of service and expertise, I want each agent that I work with to say, that was an amazing level of service. She was easy to work with. We worked through all of our problems. And I want to work with her over and over. I want the same thing for my clients. I want to deliver an unparalleled level of service and expertise for them. So much benefit to all of their friends and family. Target says their vision statement is to help all families discover the joys of everyday life. I can say to you that. You go in for toothpaste and buy half your household items to decorate. You got to put every aspect of your everyday life. I go into Target and I always in a big. So that's your vision statement. Now that's different from your mission statement. Your mission statement is going to tell your client what your company does. So to develop your mission statement, you're going to keep it short and precise. You're going to keep the one or two sentences. You want to absolutely be authentic. You want to inspire clients and also future employees. Big keyword there, leverage. To work with you. Don't think too small, but don't think too general either. So we don't want to think small, think big, but be specific. And what do you want to provide your clients? So the GLD mission statement is we are a place of stunning excellence to attract, welcome, and develop real estate leaders with world-class values. So they thought big, but very specific. They want to attract, welcome, and develop real estate leaders. We're inspiring people with stunning excellence. I don't know, stunning. With world-class, and they provide world-class value to us. Starbucks. Starbucks says they want to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. So they're saying, they want to inspire us, come in, drink their $8 latte, and develop relationships within the community, which I think we all do. I know I have my conversation at Starbucks, drinking $8 latte. So I love this quote by Carrie. So annual goal setting shouldn't be, what's my goal this year? It should be, where am I on the path to my end goal? So we're gonna go through an exercise, put your thing. Your goal this year should be in relationship to your goal in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. But I understand the struggle is real. Where do you start? What do you do? What are you gonna write down? How are you gonna do it? I don't know. I completely, so in order to get down to the nitty gritty, this is how you're gonna find clarity. So this is from the one thing, and also if you're taking goals report, you should know the circle, the 7 circles. And so not today, but soon, we're in, I say October is our goal setting month for 2023. This month, I'm gonna start digging real deep into my goals and all of those action items so you have in place before the new year starts, before January 1st. So this is a fantastic exercise. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 7 pieces of paper. And at the top of each piece of paper, you're going to write one of the categories. You have spiritual life, physical health, personal life, relationship, job, business, and finance. And on each one of those pieces of paper, you're going to think about your most amazing life in 20, 30, 40 years from your age. But you got it. Yeah. So you're gonna start with the end goal. Like I know that for me, and let's see here, in my personal life, I'm not gonna be happy and feel successful until I have my beach house in St. Simon. That's it, that's success for me. In my physical health, I know that I want to do an Ironman. Everybody, hopefully you have talked to me recently, so all know I love running. But I want to do other things too. An Ironman has swimming and biking and the whole 9 yards. And I'm not going to get there tomorrow, but there's no reason I can't have a GPS around it. I can't have the engine around it. So in each of these categories, in 30, so however many years, 20, 30, and 40, write down what your most amazing life looks like. And then you're going to take that category and say, okay, this is the most perfect, amazing life to have. And then we're going to chunk it down. Now we got to chunk it down to maybe 5 or 10 years. What can I do for my 5-year plan that will get to my 20-year plan? And then we're going to chunk it down a little bit more. And we're going to say, what can we do this year or today to get to my 5-year that will get me to my 20-year? And those are the things, those chunk down items at the very end are going to get us to our annual GPS. So when you're goal setting, you want to think big, go small, and connect today with all of your tomorrows. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. And you can do a GPS, I thought already, you can do a GPS for everything, not just your business. Do it for any situation you have going on. I mean, nutrition. So I was sitting down, I love a coach for everything. I have a CrossFit coach, I have a nutrition coach, a business coach, and whatever coach. So as I was thinking about this class and what I was putting together, and we were talking about, I'm just starting this new cycle of nutrition, and we're in the reset phase right now. And I feel like I'm never going to get to the actual meat of what I need to do in order to get in better shape. And I was like, I need a GPS. I need to write this down and put it on paper so I can visualize it and see it and have my game plan. So I did a GPS on it. So don't think that just GPSs are just for business. They're for well, if you want to plan a party, you can do GPS on it. Okay, so let's put this down on paper. That's previously known as 135. I call it 135. We call it GPS now. So I'm always doing that. Okay, gee, that's your goal. Does anybody have any idea about what your goals look like for 2023? You have. So we're gonna look like, so I guess for you, it's not gonna be how many homes you're gonna sell, it's how many rentals or not. How many loans are gonna close. So we'll change those houses over there, like stacks.
Yes, it's still houses.
Still houses technically. So how many homes, the question asked, how many homes are you gonna sell? We can break that down into how many buyers versus sellers. Which you need to know your average sales price. Maybe you want to put it, instead of doing a volume, we're gonna break it down, how much do you want to make per year, what's your GCI? Let's back that up and find out how many, what the volume is that will get you to your goal, your GCI goal. What's going on? Mike, what's your goal this year? For anyone?
50,
50 million,
no, 10 million, 50
Ten.
homes.
50 over 10 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So. I'm looking okay?
No,
So,
terrible.
okay, so we want to make our goal for next year. So there's probably reasons behind that, right? We know what those are. We're gonna work on those and we're gonna put it down on paper. To say you were a rock star this year, you got all of those, got 10 million.
He is a rock star, just volume.
That you are a rock star, absolutely.
Thank you.
What will your goal be for next year? What's your strategy?
Well, I'm resetting because I didn't do anywhere close to
But
it.
I said that.
Oh, okay.
Next year's not gonna be this
75,
75 also.
Yeah.
And your average sales price,
350.
350, so we're gonna do the math. We're gonna put 350. Into our 75, and let's get our goal.
So, Carrie, can I talk?
Yes.
You're crushing it. So when I'm looking at this, I usually do like my GCI goal,
Yeah,
because about profit, and then back everything else into that. So
yeah,
tell me how many houses I need to sell to get to that number, once I figure out my average sales price.
yeah, exactly. So, and that's what I like to do too. I like to say, okay, here's my GCI goal, and then once I get, and then I obviously, we're gonna track, just like everything, we're gonna track, and know what our average sales price is for this year, and take that into next year. And then, once we find out how many homes that is, then we're gonna break it down into how many buyers and how many sellers. What's your percentage? Do you work with buyers and sellers? Are you buyer heavy or are you seller heavy? Because that's gonna navigate what you're gonna put on your GPS, because your GPS is gonna be very different if you only have listings versus buyers. So once we have our goal, then we're gonna break that down to what our 3 priorities are. So this is the what or who are you gonna go to in order to generate leads? Because without leads, we wouldn't be in business. Leads are what we need in order to make any goal in real estate possible. So what are the 3 priorities? You know, to go straight to, well, so what are the 3 priorities you're focused on in order to achieve that goal? Where are your leads coming from? Are they here? Farming, maybe open houses? Are you a social media guru and get all your leads from social media or videos? Maybe it's leverage. Maybe you're at that point where you've maxed yourself out and you need more leverage. And for every person that you hire, you should be able to achieve a higher goal in sales. Maybe open houses. I think Gary Keller once said that open houses were the fastest way to get some funding. I think it's great. My very first closing I ever had came from an open house that came in.
It's kind of hard these days. It's a lot harder these days.
Is it?
I've been trying to do a lot of open houses
So I think that,
and no one's walking.
well, if they come in, I'm thinking my buyers would come.
What are you doing to? For the open house?
Right, and you can do a 135.
For the open house?
Generated around an open house with plan. If you're gonna have open house, the open house will be on one. And then we're gonna have 3 priorities that we're gonna do in order to achieve that open house. And then the next, we're gonna have 5 strategies. These are action items. These are the actual how of how you're gonna get to your one. And every strategy needs to be very specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be achievable, realistic, and have a timeline. Have a timeline. What is this gonna be done by? If I write it down on a piece of paper and I don't give myself a timer, it's probably not gonna get done. Unless somebody else is accountable with me. Like, so that is your GPS. Your goal for the year, broken down to 3 priorities. And how we're gonna get those 3 priorities done. I have a sample. But I want you all to start yours. And that's why I have a handout. And if you are in Zoom land, Jessica, I think, is gonna email you a copy of this, and you can get started today on your GPS as well. So I'm gonna give you 2. My first one's always real sloppy. And then once you get some ideas scratched out, you can chicken scratch, then you can make it real pretty on yours.
It's the last one, so I can't see which. It's the last one. I can go and see.
Oh, timeline,
Time.
timeline. Okay, the GPS, you can write this down any way you like it. I've started becoming a fan of this little format here. Instead of doing one goal at the top and then the 3 strategies, kind of like what I presented here. This is a way to write it out. I'm starting to like this one a lot more, to where you're gonna put your goal at the top of the page. And so I started my GPS for 2023 account here in the samples of other agents around the country who have posted their samples. So for my example, and some people even come up with an encouraging goal for something, right? And so each year you can kind of dig deep and say, what do I want this year to look like for me? What are the words that can describe my feelings and my motivation for next year? So if we're in a transition to market, and changing, reflecting, last year is going to be anything like next year. I keep hearing this whole thing about how agents can really shine in a changing, shifting market. So I thought this is my time to shine. Cool. So that's what, right? The next year I'm like, all right, so now there's gonna be a lot of agents that don't make it. I'm gonna make it my time to shine. I want to help 30 families, 18 sellers, 12 buyers. My average sales price is $425,000. That comes out to $12,750,000 in volume. My first, for my example here, my first priority, we can call it whatever you want, whatever speaks to you. It's fear. I can say sphere of influence, SOI. I'm going to call it cultivating relationships. Because the sphere can sit in your computer, in your database, and if you're not doing anything with it, it's not bringing you leads unless you're cultivating those relationships. So that's what my first priority is gonna be, the next one's farming. I need to farm my neighborhood. I haven't sold one house in the neighborhood. Everybody's beating me there. No, that's not gonna happen next year. And then my last one is systems and follow through. Now, if you wanna get real MREA, you could use your priorities as lead, listing, leverage. I think that's great. If you don't know where to start, you need lead, you need listing, and you need leverage. They've proven it in the red book. They've got it all written out here for you. Where to start, where to go, how to do it. And that can make it real simple. How are you gonna get your people, where are they gonna come from? How are you gonna get your listing, where are they gonna come from? And leverage. Who's gonna help you get those? This person up here said their one big goal is to help 221 families. I like saying families rather than people or buyers or clients. They're important to me, and they're people, and they're families, so I like to say them. So they've broken it down into their net database, their rock stars, and their referrals. This is where all their business is gonna come from. How are they gonna do it? Under 5 strategies under each one. Quarterly calls, the DTP2, the bid. They're gonna use the viral videos, monthly mailers, birthday cards. And then they're gonna get exclusive with their rock stars. That's where the real business is coming from. And you need to think about where you're spending your money. And if your money is being spent in places where you're not getting leads, stop doing it. Spend it on the people who are giving you. Who's probably a few. And then referral, how they're gonna get their referral. So this one up here, they're gonna use their database, their one priority. Number 2 is creating a system of service and clients at a high level. And 3 is daily lead generation. Now, what are you gonna do in each of those categories? I already want to get your business.
From different realtors, whether it be in the office or outside the office, and then also from some of my friends, maybe in the markets by their first house.
So your own sphere of influence, be the agent that you work with, and then your own sphere of influence.
Yes.
Is there any other spheres that you?
Maybe social media.
Social media, you want to do more with social media, right? You're
Yeah.
pretty green light, you're internet savvy.
Yeah,
You can be on the TikTok favorites.
yeah, kind of, we'll see about that, but yeah. For me, it's kind of different because these could be 2 different things. They could be realtors or they could be actual clients. Because I feel like most of the leads do come from referrals from realtors, so kind of like.
That's another great source of leads. So once you get that referral from the agent, I've seen you someone that's like, here's fantastic, it's gonna treat you like gold. You close them, they are your new referral source also. Right?
Absolutely.
And maybe in a year from now, it's gonna be purchases and refis. You're gonna have to lead.
Yeah, no, we hope so.
Right?
I think we all hope so, yeah.
And so that may be something that you look at for next year. Hopefully interest rates go down, and you have another level.
Definitely.
So you can start out with your priorities of where you think your leads are gonna come from and then break them down. What are you gonna do for, you probably don't have to do agents, because we know you shower at the club here, but what are you gonna do for your friends and family to make sure that when they go to purchase a house, that they're using?
That's a good question. That's something that I think about like a mailing list. I think we're gonna start doing some first time home buyer classes for people that are like younger, trying to get into homes. So that's definitely something to think about. as well.
Okay, that can be a strategy. When are you gonna do that?
Well, I'm doing one tomorrow actually here.
Nice, you got a timely action.
Yes.
That's awesome, because we need to make sure that you can
It's like a first time home buyer seminar with Mahogany. So,
Where's
like,
that going?
in here.
And now your demographic too. For beyond every like.
Well, that's not what I meant.
I'm just.
I got back into a corner on that. No.
But when we're doing goal setting, we need to make sure that they're specific. So you're going to be doing a more first-time homebuyer seminars, that's specific. Measurable. You're gonna measure how many leads you get off that seminar, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna write it down, follow up, you're gonna have a system of follow-up from that seminar. That's measurable, achievable, totally achievable. Realistic, absolutely realistic. And timely, put when you were going to do it. What's your time frame? So for cultivating relationships, specific, I was immeasurable. I want to have 50 conversations a week. 50 conversations with my sphere of influence. However, I need to have it. We need to talk about real estate with somebody 50 times a week. Dedicate 1 hour a day to calling my social media, current clients, leads, and past clients. This is where I get specific. I'm gonna put it on my calendar and stick to it. 1 hour a day. I'm gonna log my time, and this is important too, under my cultivating relationships. I'm gonna log in my CRM, and I'm gonna add notes about their family, their friends, what they have going on, any news they give me, what their pet names are, what their interests are, when they went on vacation. I'm gonna log every single detail about our conversation, so that when I go to call them again, I'm gonna say, how was that? How is that? Are you interested in? Will you come to? And I'll know exactly what they like. Social media high five. We know social media high five, we're gonna have, like 5 posts, comments, share, and all of those things on their social media. Interact, don't just like their things, interact with them. So be specific. I'm gonna try to be Hunter Monday in the video. It's coming. And it is on my GPS. You will see my face on the internet soon. I've been practicing. I put a video on. See, I practiced and I posted it. I posted it. I did not delete it. I've been doing some pretty embarrassing things lately in order to get over my fear. Did anybody see the video? I've been doing a back squat at my gym. It was a contest at my gym, which we should be doing. He's doing the same thing that we should be doing. We did a contest. And he said, just like we should have rules to our contest, if you post this video, make it public, tag these 5 people and say something about expansion fitness, whoever gets the most views and likes wins the contest. It's like, I mean, it's with the most embarrassing thing I can think of. And I did a little thing, did a little back squat, did a little dance, put it public, won. Good girl. So, but that's it. You can do a GPS. That's a great example of another GPS. You want to do a contest on social media, do a GPS around it. How are you going to do it? What are your priorities? What are your strategies to have a successful post on social media that gets you leads? People actually get leads off it. I think Terry Earth just did one not too long ago where she gave away an iPad and she got leads. I can see it. I'm gonna give away a Dyson hairdryer on Mother's Day.
I want one of those.
You know, you get it so shiny and nice straight. But they're $500 and people will not spend that money on themselves, right? So it is a contest and I'll do it. Give me a lead. That thing is worth $500 to me. I'm so busy that it's like, you know, they cry at me. I'm like, you need a whole board lead. So, you know, $500 for a lead, that's money well spent. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Or is anybody writing down with their goals on? I wanted to make the presentation short so that we can dig in and can write it down and start. I don't want you to leave here today with a blank piece of paper, because then I would feel like I failed. Mike, what's your goal? What have you got going on?
You did 2 million in profit.
Ooh. Love it.
That we have $1 million in profit share and $1 million in 2023.
I want to be part of that.
You're going to be.
Because, profit share means that I've told other people about this amazing career and brought them into the fold and they're like, it's have some passive income. Which could be another GPS.
That could be.
It could be, it absolutely could be, it should be. And the last piece, I want you to work on this, but the last piece I want to add to this is find yourself an accountability partner. If you're not ready for coaching, or maybe coaching's not what you're looking for right now, the next best thing is an accountability partner. Meet with that person. Talk with them. Better to be in person where you have to bring it and show it. But if you can't do that, make it a call. You can cheat a lot with calls. I like have everything written down and reviewed. I had an accountability partner for several years. We met every single Wednesday and we talked about our successes. We talked about our failures, failing our way forward. We talked about what we were going to post that week in social media. We talked about the mailer we were going to do that month, and I've never been more confused than when I had somebody. I think Andy Peters and Kim Adair, they are always accountability partners. We push each other.
Yeah, Andrew Peters.
Andrew. So, Andrew.
Yeah, and Kim does that with Carswell as well.
I'm a good accountability partner. Somebody that's gonna push you to have competition. If you're not competitive, I'm not horribly competitive. I like to stay in my lane. So I like to just be held accountable for my actions, but not necessarily, I don't need to be trying to be
You can always
my best self.
You can always compete with yourself.
Right, I'm always trying to be my best self.
Ugly yourself, right?
Right. Okay, I'm gonna give you some time, to write it down. If you have questions, let me know. If you want me to help you brainstorm, let me know. I can help you try to dig deep into specific action items. What do you have so far? You've got your three priority section, which is very much. What do we? Yeah. I think you need to be a strategy. It can be, but you're gonna have to make sure that your strategies underneath you are very accurate. Definitely want to find out what's going on. So how are you gonna do this? Who's gonna keep you? Who's gonna keep you? What's motivating you not? What are you doing? I mean, I can watch mine. Or bring my daughter anyhow, other than she is maybe a place to go. Sometimes I go like, yeah. So I think that if you're looking for what areas you want to be, it's building relationships and one of the strategies. Not necessarily consistency, but making a goal of making your phone calls, 50 phone calls, and make a tracker. Have a tracker. Did you make years and calls a day? So you need a tracker. Every hour. Every single day, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm gonna call 10 people. And then I'm gonna put a check mark each one of those, and then I'm gonna write down what we talked about, and then I'm gonna go to my CRM and log what we talked about in a second. Not gonna do it while I'm not my dedicated phone time. for my next house. I'm gonna log all of that information. And,
And if they already have a tractor, that would help, right?
right, because if you already had a tracker, there's a lot of research, I'm pretty sure you have one. I was like, no,
I am not turning around to look at you right now.
I think I'm. Oops.
No, I didn't do it back there.
So, what consistency, what does consistency mean to you? Where do you need to work with consistency about?
It might have been called with my calls. That I can put it on the same 100%. But I'm not gonna do it at the same 100%.
When,
Because you're right, so you're both on one page right now.
is that something else is that
Like saying, can we get for a class or whatever, it's like,
that's fine, you
different
just time block it though. If you have to be here,
like I can't do one thing across the board every single.
that's fine, but it needs to be on your calendar. You need to do. Because you're not gonna travel to all the places that you wanna travel to, while you're not called, not called. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The people, it's not, you gotta get rid of the limiting beliefs. The easier, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Not a problem for you to pick up the phone and say, hey, I used to call it, how's your mom in this?
Super busy and then.
I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. So I used to call it, how's your mom in this call? To see how are you? What you been up to? How's that new job? Are you kidding? Asking about kids, I'll go on for days. How, and then they're eventually gonna ask you, how's it been? You're gonna talk about it. You're gonna push it to me, you're gonna talk about, you know, anybody who wants 5 hours. Why do you have to say? But you're gonna just talk about it, and if you know anybody, keep me in mind. No, I'll see you stuff on Saturday, soccer, or whatever, you know, whatever. It does get real.
Look at the field tracker I put together for.
I think you had a beautiful tracker. One day I showed up and we
I know,
we were talking about that, you pulled its tracker, it looked exactly like mine. I was like, yeah,
See, the interesting thing is it's not how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
It's actually how you can break down the whole task,
yeah,
right? How do you meet the elephant?
right.
One at a time, right? 'Cause if you just look at the elephant, and go, ooh, that's not happening, right? But if you break it down,
Uh-huh.
then it doesn't become a task, it's just part of your routine.
Yeah.
Right?
And you do have a 36 touch, right? Because that's a difficult thing, if you are,
Yeah, I know,
you don't
that's, I
have
was
a
gonna
36
write that in here and
That's-
that's smart thing.
then that's where, if you don't have your systems in place, that's where you start. If you don't have your 36 touchdowns, then that is where you start. You can't be consistent if you don't have it. So that's where you start, and then, I love, 1 year, on my GPS, I wrote out every single thing I do for buyers and sellers and referrals. And 1 year I wrote out the entire system of every single move I make, and I call it my 10+ experience. And I have it written out,
You call it what?
my 10+ experience. That was on my GPS 1 year I did, I sat down, and every single time I made an action. The 1 year, I decided that, I wanted to more talk about consistency. I'm scared that I'm not gonna sound articulate and I'm not gonna say the right thing. So I typed out every single email. If I have to send an email twice, it's a template. It's a template. And every time I send a contract, first, great, the first phone call, follow-up, I have an email for that. Second appointment, have an email for that. Follow-up appointment, have an email for that. Here's my brokerage agreement, have an email for that. You're gonna write an offer, I have an email for that. Under contract, and they're all branded. They're all pretty special.
I have them all ready to go.
Agent, I have them categorized to agent. If I'm submitting an offer, I have a beautiful email for that, selling myself. Can't sell my client anymore, sell myself. When you can see my client's amazing, these are all the things, now it's my client is really great, it's where they work, it's why they like the house, here's all the things I provide. And then here's my offer. Inspection for an email to set up an inspection. I've got one written out for client, one written out for agent, one written out for the inspector. Google is awesome. Great. And it saves time too. I took so many photos today of them moving them. And have to have a baby. Just insert photos here. Wait. Am I giving you any idea?
Are you doing this all by yourself, or do you have someone helping you?
I don't have anyone helping me right now. I have. Y'all know that my husband worked with me for the last 2 years, but he now is in his dream job. That wasn't working for me.
And that was not
for you. He really is. He's living his best life. And before that, I had him for a while. That moving on.
So is one of your 135s to get yourself an admin again?
Yes, yes, but no, because right now I don't think that my sales are enough to support an admin. You know,
What's she saying?
oh, I have a team, yeah, I'm great. Yeah. But I'm just talking about like just admin stuff. I would never live without a transaction. Y'all have my return before. I don't know how to do it to the office. I have no idea. You don't
You
even know.
don't need to know because you have someone to do it. Should you need to know, you
It's
know where to go.
So
Find the
no.
information, right? So there you go.
How long did it take you to, just get the Keller Williams GPS and all of this together? I mean, were you able to do this in your first or second year? Just,
Oh, yeah. I mean, every year it changes.
okay.
So when I was a newer agent, you know, my goal might have been $4 million in sales and helping a certain number of families. And then where am I gonna get my money? I would put down for the open housing, and what those strategies were. And then my follow-up class next month will be the 411. And that's how you break your GPS down into daily items. Daily. Action. To make sure to break down that. We all know like monthly mailers for farming for my neighborhood, monthly mailers, that doesn't get done on its own. I gotta create it or hire someone to create it. And so each month, 4 weeks out of that month, I'm gonna have an action item to get that mailer done. 1 week might be brainstorm the idea. Next week, print. Next week, address and post and put the postage on. Next week, all in the ring. Start next month. Each.
Karen, could you share with us, if you were starting again, right new, what is the one thing that you wish you would have done from day one? The one thing.
That I would have done different.
Well, I don't know, different, better, small.
First thing you. I don't know if I want that out in the internet world. I would say be very careful with who you go into business with. That's what I'll say. Be very careful who you go into business with. Make sure that you are aligned together, that you have the same goals, that you have the same culture. Great minds think alike, you don't think alike, probably don't have to where it's mean.
But as far as systems and goals, and
Okay.
that's a good thought.
You know what I did when I started? I went and became best friends with our productivity coach.
That's a
We
good
could be
one.
friendly, we could be friendly.
Yeah, that's what you did. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was an office manager. I knew how to manage people. I knew how to build a dynamic spreadsheet. I could track any thing you could possibly imagine. I didn't know anything about real estate, so I went to productivity coach and I said, what should I do? And back then we had, E-Edge and the CPD. And, yeah, I
Yeah,
was
it's
very-
terrible.
I liked it.
Did you really?
I'm a spreadsheet queen. I loved it. It's like, look at the numbers. You can go 10 tabs over, like this crap.
Or he had tried to do backflips with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Anybody says something bad about command, and I will show you how awesome it is. I love command. I do. I got rid of 3 different systems and put everything into 3 systems I paid for.
That's the other thing with command is you can use your phone to make your calls.
Mhm.
That's so you tag when you're doing the DTT too. You gotta relate tag with the letters.
Right, exactly.
So then you can open on your phone and it will say, do you want to record this? Not record. Do you want to, make notes or whatever on the phone? And you can wait till later, but you can also just do that, yes, and then go to the next one. Go to the next one, go to the next one.
See, and that's so great. I was probably only using 25% of what it can actually do,
Well, if you think you're using 25% of it, imagine the rest
right?
that are using maybe 5%.
Yeah. The one thing, I'm gonna think about that. The one thing I wish I had done.
I know I'm still kind of new, but what I would say is keeping the promises you make to yourself and the goals you write down. It's a lot of the times, like, I know you were talking about it as well, like you write down, you're gonna make 10 phone calls and then the day happens, and stuff gets in the way. It's 5 o'clock and you can make your phone calls or you can make an excuse for why you didn't make them. And more often than not, sometimes if you're discouraged, I feel like it's easier to make an excuse than to just do it. So
Absolutely.
I think that's something that I think everybody can relate to. So, yeah, I try to make sure that I do not do that anymore. I did catch myself the first couple of months doing that a lot because I was discouraged.
Yeah,
So, being new in an industry or just into the workforce is discouraging to call people and have them hang up on you or just say whatever. So I'd say my answer is be doing what I say I'm going to do and writing it down and just keeping promises to myself. So.
yeah. Because if you keep that promise to yourself today, in 90 days from now, you're gonna see that paycheck.
Correct.
All of your efforts and the promises you kept to yourself today are gonna pay out in 90 days.
No, absolutely.
Well, and the other thing Carrie said about the calendar, I think is so important because if you have it all on the calendar, and then the key thing about it is having it by the calendar, and even if you don't necessarily live by the calendar in the sense of like, yeah, things do happen from day to day that are sometimes gonna throw you off. But the whole, if you already see much replace, like, I think that's the key thing is if you really do time block and you stick to that, and then if for some reason you do get thrown off, you erase and replace, then, there's really no reason why you should get off of your goals because you're doing the things that you need to be doing to get to it. So I think it's just sticking to that and kind of like what you said too, like if you're gonna say you're gonna do something or you're telling yourself, hey, I'm gonna do this, you gotta just do the activities.
You gotta do it.
It's simple.
I think it's really easy when you wake up Monday morning at 8 o'clock and you drink 3 coffees. You write down, I'm gonna make 15 calls today and I'm gonna book 5 appointments. And then by the time it's 3 o'clock, you're like,
Oh, you know what you should do then?
I'm tired of this. Yeah, I'm making an
You
example.
do the night
Yeah.
before.
Matter how'd you get 8 o'clock? I wish I could get that skinny.
You don't, 8 o'clock?
Get up, I get 6.
I
Oh, I'm
get,
gonna
I
do
get up
that.
at 5:45 or 6. I'm just making an example. I'm just
Right.
going off of what my.
Your work day
Yeah, yeah.
after you get done with your workout,
Yes.
all the morning activities, reading.
Okay, I want to thank you. I think that this class is awesome. I think it's the most, these 2 classes that are coming up, this one and then the, or what vision, or full one, but the vision board are the 2 things that have accelerated through Bold
Yeah,
my life. Because
Yeah.
Bold I take every time and I think I feel like a broken record in here a lot of times. If people think I like Bold pays me or something, I didn't know nobody do that. So I met Mikey was in Bold. It changed my life and it changed my thinking. And so I ink everything and I have that shirt says ink it. And but first you have to think it. And then you have to write it down and you have to gross it. And you have to net it. And then you give it away. And when you can have a big why, like you said, think big, go small, laser focused. That's really what propelled me to change my life. And now the problem I have is kind of weird, is I have hard conversations with people. Because if I feel they're playing small, Mike can probably tell you, if you get a conversation with me, I have a struggle, and it's real, with being nice. Like I have this weird like sense of like pushing you because I know what it did to my life and what it continues to do in my life. And my coach, I cannot stand him, but he's the best coach, and he reports straight to Carrie. But it's not that he does that. He just literally is not my friend. He's making me live to the goals of what I wrote down. And so, you know, a lot of times you have just a wish list, or you think that it's like, hey, I want to do 10 million. Okay, well, now you're at 5. You're like, what's the deal? It's October. Like, what are we going to do differently? And should we have started doing it at halftime? So for me, it really kept me accountable to myself. And then I'm able to, the things I'm able to purchase is off the money that I'm able to make by doing the things I do. And being, when I said a number, like how much I want to make a month, like I never felt these were realistic numbers until about 7-8 years ago. Now I'm surpassing those numbers and going to the next level because I do know it's a possibility, and I've got it written down, I have a strategy and a plan right now.
And you're stretching yourself.
Yeah, if I don't make it, okay, but look, I'm looking where I'm at, and then the things that I'm able to do off of that. Yeah,
Are incredible,
yeah,
are big,
yeah,
big.
yeah. I mean,
And so if you're too nice to yourself, too nice to the people around you, are they gonna stretch themselves? Or are you gonna stretch yourself? You need that accountability. You need that person who is not your friend to keep you accountable.
right. I even hear myself in team meetings, like I think I'm a little, not brassier, I'm just like laser focused to help. I guess my one thing is to see, you know, you guys successful,
I want to be,
living your best life. Yeah, and I think that's
I
what
want
we should
that
make.
beach house. I want to retire. I do not want to be 80 years old selling home.
Well, I don't want to retire, but I want to rewire.
Okay, I'm gonna retire.
Well,
My feet need to be up at the beach. You
my
gotta.
mom's 75 and she don't have to work. She did $1.50 in GCI in June, and she works by choice, not necessity.
Right. Oh, your mom,
Huh?
your mom's still working, isn't she?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My mom, 75,
75.
she did $1.50 in GCI in June.
Whoa.
Mhm.
I mean, it is kind of hard to not, right?
It's in her blood, and
It's hard to quit.
but now she does what she wants. Have you ever seen somebody just quit something? What happens? So
They probably,
they die.
yeah.
They die. I mean, I sold, y'all saw on social media, my stepdad, I mean, my father-in-law's business a year ago, and his life is, because he's been doing it all his life. He's been setting GPSs all his life. He need to stop. Like, what do I do now?
See, you got a GPS, what you're gonna do now.
I have a suggestion for you. You want to retire? Great.
Yeah.
But I would advise this, build your business to where it runs without you,
Yeah,
okay? Or you build it big enough where you can actually sell it.
yeah.
Either way works.
Here's what I say is, build a business where you never need a vacation.
Oh, I love that song. I'm on vacation because I love my occupation.
I want to listen, bro, right now. I never needed a vacation. I moved to the lake.
Yeah. Love it. Anybody else have any questions for me or need any guidance or direction or? Do you think that, and this doesn't have to be your first, this is your first draft.
Right, and it's like,
And
and I've raised a few times.
And go back and do the 7 circles too. Go back. I'm gonna do that. I came up with my GPS for 2023. It might not be exactly what I'm gonna do, but I will. So, and this is in the one thing too.
Yeah.
So does everybody have a copy of the one thing?
You know.
I wish I had the page numbers for you, I'm sorry. Go back and see that section. Yeah, and do that, and get hyper focused on what you're gonna do today that will get you to your 5 year and get you to your goal. When I retire, I'm not gonna quit, I'm just gonna get a large group of people to walk on it. I'm not gonna be doing any savage things or anything like that. Did you find it class beneficial?
So
Thank you.
Did it help you? Did it give you any clarity?
See, what needs is this. How big is this office? 450, let's say it is.
no, it's 500. We
We
said
do have quite a few.
4,500, right? We should have 10 or 50% or more of those ages in this class,
there's some Zoom, but I know.
right? Hunter, what was I talking to you earlier about business planning? What did I do with the loan officer I worked with a little while back?
Yeah, you were saying that the loan officer that he works with, they business plan together.
At the end of the year, we did business planning for the next year. Imagine being able to work, you said find somebody that you can, call care. This was a home bank loan office. And we worked so well together that we would come at the end of the year and do business planning for the next year. She told me her goals, I told her mine. We married what we could do together, and we just had it amazing. I mean,
How long did you spend when y'all were together doing that business development?
sometimes it was the whole day.
I would take a whole day. Teams get together with their team members and they go away on retreats and do this. And first they come up with their big idea. They're like, next year I'm gonna shine. And then they go from there and they make their goal for the team. You should still be doing that same activity as an individual. Spend an entire day working through your business plan. And then take another day very soon after that and put it into action. Develop your 36 touch. We did that class. You've got a GPS and 36 touch should be on there. So the next step is you should develop it. You should have all of your ideas for the entire year written out. Spend 8 hours doing it. I do it every year. I have to do it by myself nowadays, but I still do it. I lock myself in a room and I get on Pinterest and I go Google all the ideas and it is set in stone before January. January, you're already overwhelmed. Things are gonna start slipping to the wayside and you're gonna start winging it, and winging it never got us in. Winging it, nobody who's been successful in business is like, I'll just see what happens tomorrow. Figure it out as we go.
I winged it this year, it was terrible.
No, sometimes you got it. Sometimes you just have to wing it and you see what happens when you take your eye off the whatever thing, goal. Target. Now that people aren't on TV, we're already getting more than no personality. We're doing what?
And now,
Do I have to run?
I wrote to a while ago to be here, seen some watch.
Marley,
There's 6.
yeah.
Things we did, we copied. Well, I feel like
Yep.
you can't hear that part. So maybe, well, I pulled her in, like, that's just like, yeah, and I just.
Thanks, Carrie.
I fill it out.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, and I told you, and this is the thing, it's you trying to you.
It's very hard.
That's what it is. All you do
Now
is-
to go back. This is how.
Every,
I got right now, it's scripts for open houses.
I would tell you one thing, everybody should be
And now I'm
using
gonna go back and do how much I
the command app. It's so easy to check calls.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You make fun of it. So easy. You were telling me that.
Because I mean, it's things are different, so I have to.
Oh, but you still have, so I was on the phone when I first got involved. So I had to kind of been a complaint from my end. I had to use certain those were absolutely on me. But however,
And let me determine what you want to.
Mina, how's it going?
yeah, just a quick one.
Yes, what's going on?
Yeah, now you want.
Yeah.
For instance, shelter and this.
So we're considered the perimeter team is what our name is, but that's changing because there's the new Keller Williams office in.
That's like, and then R or, you know.
SMA or SHM, and then it's dash perimeter team or Caldwell team, either HM, so like shelter home mortgage.
Okay.
And then it's either dash perimeter team or dash the Caldwell team per se. So that is- so they call us both of them on, it just depends, it's like we send out, we have leaderboards for like our parent company and then for shelter. And so they send out the shelter leaderboard for the perimeter team, but on the home we're the Caldwell team. Okay, so,
You're brilliant.
well, thank you, I appreciate it.
I know, right, there's.
Since January of 2021, so almost 2 years.
So.
I actually was marketing and sales.
Like, okay, just.
Yeah, so nothing in finance. If I would have known I was getting into this, I would have absolutely been a finance major, but. Yes, thank you, I appreciate it. Well, I figured. Just being up there, I would have made some studying and everything.
No,
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, I'm trying. Yes, I appreciate that.
I give you something.
Hey, absolutely. Let me know if it helps.
Oh, don't take free.
I appreciate it. Matt said hello and that he missed you and he wishes you could call, but I appreciate that. Was very nice.
I probably don't.
Yeah.
I probably don't have. Yeah.
Whatever you did this week.
It's all good.
You get 20.
Well, when you go to.
Yes, it's great. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I took an extra one of these because I'm like, I'm giving these for other areas of my life as well.
You do 10. Right. And then you say, oh my God, I don't want to speed it up. I'm gonna close this one. That's have to be 100. Right there, right? Look at what happens when you roll.
There's this touch. So for me. All I'm saying is mention goal. Give me the additional reason. How am I go? Because she 36.
When you guys have money, everything.
Okay.
Then one of the tweaks and stuff. Usually, the info is really exactly. So if you want, I think you're.
Whatever. And that's you, and that's saying.
Showing what's in there.
25.
I do, yeah, I do. So the calls don't change.
This is interesting with goals.
The calls don't change,
Let's say that you.
but the information that I'm giving you does change. Not only it's very valuable.
Right.
And you're always around and you're sending them higher. Well, you're not.
Information on what to do with tree fall.
Coaching.
Not gonna change there, except.
And this is.
And then I'll.
Right, and then, right?
We have to do it a different way.
Yes. Oh, that was yes.
Because the services.
My jail is very good.
Yeah.
Every month. And
If you pay me that.
and I.
However, it's gonna be a mail, so, okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
say that.
Language changing. Okay.
But everything else. Like my.
I mean, no, but you'd be discouraged. Well, some people would be discouraged, right? Yeah.
In order to pay for that. So. but-
Well, I don't even think how hard
And some people will get discouraged. You know,
I just didn't.
Yeah.
What to do about cyber fraud?
That's.
What to do about paying off the credit card?
Keeping the big goal.
Current matters.
Challenging yourself, killing yourself, try.
If there are.
Yeah.
Then I agree.
Things happen, and that's a different thing. But we need to really research it.
And I, other.
Which doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it's ways to, you know, sometimes I'm like, check with your ages and make sure that you're covered, you know, well covered. Yeah. How do you check with the
What did it work? Have you had an engaged change? Or is that a change? Remember to check your. Yeah. Your home colleagues and check, okay.
Yeah.
It's coming.
For me,
Check your home.
one of the biggest setbacks,
Yeah,
like in doing the
Yeah.
school plan,
You can
is
do a video.
my contacts.
Hey, have you had a birthday?
Not the lack of them.
It's birthday coming up.
So when that came in here the first time,
What?
I don't even know. It's right. Thing is, like when I first came in, right?
Double check.
And then, oh, yeah, but I did.
Check the home settings. Now, check
So did you make change and she transferred every
change.
all
Are you married? Are you no longer married? Have you, you know?
Uh-huh.
You know, like, I'm not saying
Super
that, but.
people, I didn't even know who they were,
Something
like,
happens.
over all the many years.
There's not even an
travel
exemption.
support and stuff. But they just had no idea who guys were.
What you did.
If
65.
there, I've never,
That's crazy.
things like that. And I felt like, I feel like it's hard to put things into.
I'm gonna look forward
our
more.
plan, when I don't even know who the people are, or if I ever want to speak to them again. I know that sounds really bad, but I feel like cleaning up my contacts needs to be like.
Thank you. Appreciate it back there.
Carrie, come see the final product. You saw it when I was putting it together, right?
But I mean, I think that is like the very first thing,
I'm gonna come look too.
the very first thing I think everybody should do is clean out their contact list. You want to help?
Nice. Oh, those colors.
So,
I love it.
okay, so you enter your you know, these are the four activities that I think make your business, right? Your contact having conversations, prior appointments, list appointments.
Yeah.
And a story, right? And then those activities will impact the following part, which is your GCI, listing statement, buyer contracts, close units, right? So for instance, if you, how many contracts do you think somebody should have in that book? And I'm asking you actually.
200.
Well, you have 350, right? How many do you think you should be adding on a regular basis?
Like
Good contracts, good contracts,
It's gonna be.
right? So let's say your goal is, and this is the part you can change. So let's say you say, well, I want to do one for the month, and I have it, this is a quarter, right? First month, second month, change the rate, right? As you're entering, you see that? Because this is what we were doing with every now. You were at 230, you killed, look at all the, you did 85 contracts, right? But as you entering this per week, right? Let's say that you do 5 the first week. And then this is, you do much that second week, and let's say you do 10. Now you see, let me show you something.
Yeah, your percentage is going down.
And the color is changing, you see that?
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, it's not color coded.
But how did you get it to change colors with the number? Do you have the economic model on a spreadsheet? Because I tried to find it. And I tried to go into command and come up with a report class, and I got very confused. But I wanted the spreadsheet to where I could say, okay, your goal is you would have made $100,000. And I wanted to back it out. In the economic model spreadsheet, and I don't know where mine. What would I have done different?
I know when I would, the first thing I would have done, that first week. That what I would do over. Is clean out my contacts.
Oh,
I would completely work on my contacts, because I have a lot of contacts that. Like I was telling him, that I don't know even who they were. When I met, I don't even know anything about them.
yeah, I know.
Is that the one we're talking about?
And then you put in your goal for GCI and then. No, this is just how it's like.
Okay, so
If you put 50%, 50%. Yeah, and the average sales, yes. Yeah, 50%.
there's a better version.
There used to be a PTE tracker, which I used, one of the things I used before command came out. There was like a spreadsheet in there where you could put in there. Yeah, spreadsheet, right. So I was looking at point. See, maybe I was looking at the wrong, I was trying to find the wrong sheet.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is, I wanted to go break it down to how many appointments you should have per month in order to achieve
Now, of course,
your
the,
GPI goal.
and this is my disclaimer, I like the numbers here, because if you actually hit the numbers, your percentages should be a lot better than the conversion ratio we use,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They're assuming a lot of cold calling and a lot of when people, I'll tell you this, she probably remembers this. The first time that I shadowed the young in their class here, right? They're doing something at the end, this is at the end of Tuesday, and they're doing script wrongly, right? And I forget her name, she's not even here anymore. They did some script wrongly. Personally, I don't think it was the best, but you know, well, that's your practice, you know. So anyways, so she turns to another person around me and so what do you think of that? And I said, think about it, and we go, what did it mean? That was my question, right? Oh, that's the one. Assessment. He thought it was beneficial. I said, well, anything beneficial. Anything that you do with this is going to be beneficial, but never mind, you know, it's wired differently. The reason I was asking, what I was asking is this. What is your conversion ratio that you reach out to your database? If you go to list of appointments for your database. You had 100, right?
Yeah,
But if you were going on for somebody on their appointments, you're not gonna back.
25%.
Exactly, right? So depending, so this leads are based on a model where you're not necessarily talking to the database.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
fair.
Because look at the conversion ratio that it has.
Yeah, I
Cost
love
of
it.
sales 30%, expenses 30%,
But
right?
it's 12 before we go to bed.
Exactly. So you play with it, you change it to where it works for you.
Yeah,
But anyways, so that's it.
this is exactly what I was looking for.
You want it?
I would love that. Just for the purpose of making it easy. One. Don't do it all my.
No. Oh, no.
I want to be able to teach them. That, and, you know, but I've always used a spreadsheet where I just type my numbers in and it tells me. So I don't have to explain it. So I want to be able to be so proficient in this that I say, if you want to, like, if you have a goal to buy a beach house in Bay Finance, how much do you need to put down? And then you can say, all right, I want a $600,000 house, I need 20% down, put codes on, and then come up with how many sales you need in order to achieve that goal. And break it down that way. So you have that house. You have, oh, I don't know, the one at really. And it's a range.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to say, okay, here's your goal, here's your goal in order to live your best life. Now, let's think about your other.
What else?
Like, this is what you need in order to run your household. Now, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you want to enrich your life? How do you want to enrich somebody else's life? What do you want to do? And then teach that alongside of that.
How to work backwards.
So, but which percentage do you want to use? So I have it at 12%. That's realistic. That mimics what we do here.
Because I don't.
No, it really depends on the price point, right? So look at that, that's 1.6 units, right, per month. But again, if that was sure, if that's, how many listening rooms we go on?
Two.
Two, right? Right? Love that, all right. So the question is, and I don't know if you remember this trade, there's this stuff. Former asked at the end, and I knew, because you mentioned it before, I think it's your database. And I could promise you, they were thinking, 1,500, 1,000 plus, right? And you said 50, right? That's 90% conversion ratio. So if you look at the database, you say, I'm doing 8%, political transactions out of this. And I asked them, I said, how did she make more money, right? And they're like, well, she just takes it at 2%, maybe 10% out of the database.
It happens more consistent.
Right. Or we could just add more connect.
Yeah.
Right. So for instance, and again, this is.
I feel like I won the lottery every time to the academy.
Well, that's, yeah, it's like, where do you find the people to put in your dance?
So the other
Where do
day,
you find them? Where do those people come from?
so I just did a thing at my gym, you probably heard me say that, where I
Yeah.
bought the t-shirts, but in order to get the t-shirt, they had to email me their contact information. You do the reverse, you do the contact on, and that's gonna get you contact.
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna get ads.
Like a reverse 100.
Yeah, obviously, you're gonna get the ads from.
Did it go well?
I think so.
Good. Hunter said it went well. I have 204 and I'm about to get rid of one line. Yeah, I need to do some.
I can't look at my phone, it's not fair to look at my phone and look at contacts, because I'm like, 50% of them are aging.
Right, well, good point.
Well, then you use labels.
Oh, yeah.
What's your labels?
Maybe not have.
Oh,
For instance, if I wanna see my, this is you guys.
okay. Making you
See, I don't like that.
yeah.
I have to have my back.
This is.
I do like it.
Language sheets and all the other.
There's a big hand deal. There's a machine. I have them all. So you're gonna get your referral. There's everywhere. Gotta do about. You talk, and then you are having fun. Yesterday I got my. She wanted to take time. And I was like, girl, I'll send it to you. What's your cell phone number?
This is what we're able to do with the Google. Okay, this isn't this.
I have it.
Okay, so get this, if you wait for everybody to pass, the picture is gonna be enough, right? So that's my wife and my daughter, right? And all you do is
You can do that in. Shut the front door. Freaking.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Wait, wait.
Can you do that on yours?
No,
I have an old phone.
but I wonder if I can do it in my Google Photos app.
Oh.
I don't know if it lets you do it, if you have to try. See, it's my. That's my wife, right? The problem, she takes a lot of pictures with an actual professional camera, right? I don't see 80% of them, she put them away, store them away, and I never see it, right? So I'm taking a picture behind her, that's my daughter and her boy, right? So.
That's so. That's not fair. What kind of phone is that? No, I'm not gonna change my phone.
Uh-oh.
Did you do it?
Uh-oh.
Did you do it?
How do you do it?
What are y'all playing?
We're
Photos.
Here. You don't have to do this.
No.
That Google Photos?
This is how you do it. See, let me show you.
Okay.
So I take the picture. And I edit, right? And I go to tools. Okay. And I do magic eraser. And then look at this. You're gonna see this.
Not lazy.
Take a look.
Look. Look. Wow. Wow, that's very cool.
Back to
Thanks for the lunch. You want to get your hair?
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I did put it on Facebook, but I promise I'll get better at seeing for the class than you let Marky.
Are y'all gonna take these on the place? Cause you know, we'll just throw them away otherwise.
I will,
Okay.
we'll dispose of them.
Alright.
So what do you think?
I mean, there's gotta be a way to do it. I don't know. There's gotta be a way.
And then you updated. The new updated.
I got a new case because I heard it.
And then, this is, and this is what you're able to do. This slide send me pictures of a property that, you know, the pool, how it looked in, winter time and summertime, just how it's covered, right? So you're able to do those things. Wonderful. It's on the phone, it's Google Photos.
So that's a Google phone.
Excellent. You have a buyer in this class, who has a buyer in this class?
I have one. I have lots of buyers in this house, yeah.
Kel, high school,
Yeah, I need one for Yale High School.
I just put this thing on the market.
Is it $1,000? Is it $1 million?
Wow.
Is it 350?
465.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
How are you?
Look at this thing.
You know, the thing is with the open house, the last few open houses I did were so last minute that I couldn't even, like, one of them I did when I was 30. I said I would do it and I was on my way back in town. So like I got home the night before, I didn't even have time to like
Stuff here. right?
door knock. And that's how my last few were. I think I'm up so last second. I knocked on.
I'm on it.
I never decided whether to. Yeah, no, I'm about to go doing all
This is their. Just their, you know, I paid a subscription, so I get a lot of enhanced, the $40 a month. So this is. Where I get- this is the-
floor plan.
well,
No, that's fine.
I'm just If you,
I
if you
just
have
now
this.
doing my first event
They work
ever.
a lot.
Well, yeah, event in my neighborhood, doing their house costume.
I don't know, you do that.
And I do that at the end.
You know, I did one for my community, little
But even with one,
barbecue hot roll type thing. Yeah, it was 70 people who showed up. And I
Oh,
love
yeah.
people who show up. You know,
Well, this is a costume parade. It's in my neighborhood, just a little field.
you have to spend hundreds of dollars.
I used to be an event person, so in Riverfield, 30 years ago.
I just did,
And I didn't make a cheap stop today. And even then, speaking of costume parade, I didn't know which way to go. They were cheap, like you're supposed to go. I didn't even do that. It was, you know, and so I'm doing that, so I'm gonna feed the kids where they go trick or treating. And that's all. But I just have this, my name. Do you have a favorite? How many kids in my neighborhood?
I used them all, but Peter is great.
okay, I like to.
So many.
I like it too.
I've got 100 of everything that I don't.
They didn't take a picture, he took a picture of the shower.
Yeah.
They were-
No, I'm doing it on something, doing it on something.
This is the best way to. capture the shower. So this is the secondary bed. This is not this. It's a car wash.
Truck or treat. Yeah. In Amberfield? No.
So we're doing that.
Okay, good luck.
This is the secondary bathroom. Upstairs, and this is pretty much a walk-up level.
Yeah.
But it's not truly a basement if you think about it, right? They have 2 rooms, they have on the basement part. So, and this, they have a full bath, this is the pool. The flat yard, this is what it looks like in the summertime. 5 years old, they built a bunker. Solid concrete, well, they had somebody do it. The roof, it's metal, but it has a concrete top.
So this is underneath the front of the house.
No, this is on the back. So if you notice here, you see that's how that was one of the exits, right? So they just built it right here, and they put bunk beds on both sides. And these are metal frames on both sides. So they used it, they're like, listen, we don't play, if we hear anything, storms, we're going there.
Dang.
Yeah. This is the deck.
They're like the people that you order under their house in the world.
Oh, yeah.
They probably have a more. Cute. Super cute.
Should I send it to you?
I have, I'm looking to it, we can go to for a million.
Or we can, I used to live in Brooklyn.
It's on YouTube.
Okay,
So right after LJ, and
that's where I used to live,
where you,
where the meat corner is supposed to be possible.
oh, yeah. Ah!
Do you listen right over there?
Right off the hill.
Herman's and, let's see, what's the other one? Herman and Overbrook, you know, the Herman Bible School. I think it was one of them. Yeah, I'm not expecting this one to last so long. You're doing one already, right?
Last weekend. I had to, I'm not doing anything this weekend. I'm going to the back side of the church.
You're, oh, you're not.
Wrestling?
No, it's on YouTube. It's the neighborhood of us, like, in the hood. A lot of shots. Maybe nothing. Okay, here we go, back. I think it's nice. Cool for minuses, so maybe
Yeah, we're
it's
going for like.
like, okay.
Kitchen somehow, I guess.
I'm trying to get it.
You, which corner, right?
I am.
It doesn't look super purple in this.
Very good house. This is the yard.
That's the courtyard, bathroom area.
That is it, that's all they have. The rest of you, there is no yard. But you're walking this.
You know, they're building off the Dresden phase 2 of all those of the condos that are over like Alexander's and stuff. Right off of Dresden. You know where the DMV used to be? Christopher? Yeah, J. Christopher, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna.
So there's those 2 condos, like they're building the other, it's called phase 2, where the DMV used to be,
Oh, yeah.
all that, they're building 2 more buildings.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You got how we fixed up the house we bought? How high it's up. This is what it looked like when we bought it 2 years ago. This is what it looks like now. Well, we have that, I've kind of played with it, I gotta show you. We added.
Got like shutters.
Well, I don't know, we're gonna see, look at that, that's what it looks like in the different,
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Look all your
Look
lighting.
at that.
yeah, we added a few things.
My landscaper wants to do that for our house.
This is
Where are you?
Riverwood,
Riverway.
41 has like a athletic club,
Yeah.
they were gonna the right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was through there, and I'm like, it's such a neat.
We like, we love it, yeah, we love it.
Yeah, you know, exactly where you are. Finding the joy every day. with it.
Walk to Target.
This is what the house looked like.
That
It
was bad.
staged when we first looked at it.
Woo. Not bad.
I got that.
Could be worse. That's not bad. That's not bad.
So that's what we look like.
Yeah, and I.
It looks kind of chopped up, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was outlined.
and then this is in the back. We back out to, what's it called Amherst Lakes.
Mhm.
So we're kind of like on the water. So that's what changed. We got rid of the green.
That's beautiful.
I would have
Three-
said if I
three
looked at your
decks.
house, I'll follow. You got it. In the backyard.
This is it. So we have the, I've always been a sucker for the horseshoe driveways.
Look at that.
We're doing a few things.
So you're on the water?
Kind of. yeah.
Party at Enrique's house.
Yeah. Holidays, like.
Yes, we were. All right, this is where we need to fix it.
I'm on call again. My daughter and her husband had to fly in last minute.
We took out the mirror,
Oh,
right? So, we'll, that's an old picture of the house.
See, that's mine in the middle. Yeah.
When I just redid the kitchen, it was, yeah. Oh, I have everything, just because.
you been cooking?
Oh, here we go. That is my kitchen before.
Where's your house?
Kitchen.
Okay.
Oh, I know that.
Where do
I
you
think my
live?
first, every one of my
On
first
Olive.
house wasn't there.
My brother's on Clinchfield.
Oh,
He'll live in Flippin.
yeah.
But
I just updated my lighting.
really, look at my face. That's so pretty. I'm gonna do something with all that pizza. Okay? Awesome.
Here you go. This is the other thing.
I love it. And I like, do you like the butcher block?
No,
That's pretty.
I mean,
That's what.
no, just,
It's pretty, but it's not super little, is it?
I mean, it is. We have it. It's polyurethane. It's got a matte finish water-based polyurethane on there, and unless you're willing to put in the extra effort of doing that every couple of years,
Yeah,
don't get what you want.
yeah, no.
Because I sand it down to the finish it.
No.
Every time I need to. So, what, do I wish I had put quartz there? Yes.
So what do you want me to send you? You want the tracker? I'll be happy to share it with you.
Yes,
Do you want the net, the net income one?
yes. And my big question for you is, you know, when we took that class to train the presenter,
Mhm.
and they give you the teacher's notes on the class,
Yes.
the presenters,
Mhm.
how can we get access to those for other classes, or do I have to be trained for?
I don't know if I have it, or, but I should be able to get it.
Because I want the presenters manual for classes that are available.
You got it?
So, because if there's a class that they have already written out for GPS,
So
I want to,
where are you gonna come and teach your PC now?
anything you want me to.
What is it?
Oh, what? What happened more here, I can do Queensland.
Well, but you know, yes, I mean, this thing should be packed. I said that
I'm surprised that more people are out
I
here.
actually am surprised too, that,
I had this on my calendar the first day I heard that it was going on.
you know what, I just don't bring, it's like, I'm not the,
this is the group chat that I have for the PC group. That was your class right here. And
I only took it on a Friday, I'm not gonna do a Friday class.
Wait, is it the Friday?
Wednesdays are good.
Yeah, Wednesdays are probably better.
And we can always work something out with the 11 to 12.
I mean,
You
for
know,
the
from-
PC group,
Yeah,
I come on Tuesday, or anything you want, but for the whole market center,
thank you.
I mean, I almost feel like I'm not a celebrity yet, because like if Terry
Oh,
came in, if Terry came and taught this stuff, I feel like.
But who did? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think that-
When I had, this is when I had my team in 2007.